So, let's kick this off. So, hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Introduce yourself.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm Brian Betancourt.
Brian Betancourt.
Yes.
And where are you from, Brian?
I am from Destrehan, Louisiana.
Destrehan. I hear they have a good high school football team out there.
We do. We've had some big names that came out of there, like Justin Jefferson, Ed Reed. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, it's pretty well known for football. A lot of people move in that area strictly to be a part of Destrehan High School football.
So what is it you do? Your career? What's your work?
My career is I work for low voltage data cabling, right? And then so I'm a sales manager. So go out meeting people.
So that would explain why we met. So we met at a networking event.
Yes.
In St. Gabriel, Louisiana.
That's right.
For the industrial industries.
Yeah,
these are like the chemical companies, right?
Yeah, so we do a lot of industrial work. Like I said, we do low voltage data cabling, fusion splicing, security cameras, and a lot of these chemical plants, which is a lot around this area, right?
Can I tell you a story?
Sure.
So when I first came to town, I was really good at pool. I was like an 8 at 8 ball and a 9 at 9 ball. And I used to play at Clicks down on Old Hammond. And back in the day, I mean, I'm wearing boots today, but I used to wear bigger black boots and jeans and a black T-shirt, the same look every single time. And so I'd go into Clicks almost every day because I wasn't married or anything at that point. And so I would go in there day after day and no one talked to me for like 3 months.
Really?
And eventually when, I started becoming friends with a lot of the guys that were there, they said to me, I said, why didn't no one talk to me for like months? And they were like, dude, we thought you were the FBI. Was it kind of weird? Like, do you meet many people like me with a silly accent? And like, did you think I was FBI when I walked into the networking event?
No.
Okay, good.
No, I did not think you were FBI.
Awesome.
You never know. I mean, especially working in the industrial world, you don't know that there's chemical plants obviously all over, right? So this guy might have come from Australia. Or
True.
wherever,
That is a very good point.
So,
people don't realize that about Louisiana is that in that massive industrial thing that we have going on here does bring in people from all over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of it. Okay, so there we were at a networking event.
Yes.
And we were having a conversation, and it was a conversation about a subject I know nothing about. And so I wanted you to come on and educate me on this podcast.
Sure.
So my first question, official question, and I may regret asking this, but what is cornholing?
Yeah, I guess it could be taken a couple of different ways.
I'm British, so I don't know.
Right. So cornholing is a game. It's a professional game. Where you throw, it's more so known for many people, I guess the casual, I would say, as like the beanbag game, the bean toss game, where you're trying to throw a beanbag 27 feet into a cornhole board, which is usually a wooden board with a hole in the middle.
So this is the thing that they're playing at the tailgating games all the time?
Yeah, exactly. That's what people hear of it. That's what people initially get introduced to is that tailgating, when people playing like washers, beer pong, things like that. Cornhole is another game that they play, right?
And that's like actual professional sport, because I got the vibe it was a professional sport.
Yes, it is a professional sport, and I got introduced to it probably about 4 years ago. A friend of mine, Josh, down in New Orleans, who had a cornhole league at a place called Coconut Beach, which is like a sand.
For this?
Oh, there's plenty of leagues. So right now, I actually play in a Monday night league that has 36 teams, and there's probably over 200 people that show up here on, every Monday night.
So explain the rules to me for professional cornhole.
Yeah, so that's the thing too. So whenever I talk to somebody, it's like, hey, yeah, I play cornhole. Apparently, I talk about it on a podcast, King Seat Podcast, and then I'm like, well, why don't you come to one of these events? Because you could play pretty much every night of the week within the Baton Rouge area, New Orleans area. There's always a place playing. It's very, very popular.
I had no idea.
Yeah, but not a lot of people travel for it. It's just a casual event.
Is it a solo sport or a team sport?
It's both. It's both, yeah. So
tell me about your league. What's your league?
Well, yeah, this league I play in, it's great. It's a great, I want to say like a starter league, because it's a league that's very welcoming to people who don't play much, but it's also very welcoming for people who are very competitive. We have some people that are professionals that play in this league as well. But the good thing about it is you can get your group of friends and you're guaranteed to play with this group, right? There's 3 or 4 people, 7 games a night for an 8 to 9 week span. And that's usually when a lot of people start and they get introduced to it, because they come out there and they're surprised, like, oh, there's different bag types. It's not just one bag. It's not just a bag.
You're going to treat me like a 5th grader.
Yeah,
now I know that game, but I had no idea it was actually professional sports. So let's start at the beginning. So what are the rules?
Yeah.
Let's pick a specific. So you said you can play solo or you can play group.
Yeah, solo or doubles usually. Solo is when you have somebody on each side of the board. You're walking back and forth between the two boards. The boards are 27 feet apart, and that's usually a surprising part to people as well that don't play competitively. They get out there and like, wow, these boards are far. They're a lot further than I'm used to throwing at a tailgate event, for example, right?
Sure.
And it's one bag. It's 1 point to get a bag in the hole. 3 points to get one. I lied. 1 point to get a bag on the board. 3 points to get in the hole, and it's cancellation points, right? So let's say you have 3 bags in the hole. Your partner has 4 points and 4 bags in the hole. It's 3 points, like I said. So I would have, or you would have 9 points, right? Because you have 3 bags in the hole. If I'm playing against you, I would have 12 points, right? Because I have 4 bags in the hole.
Okay.
Because you're throwing 4 bags at a time. You cancel that out. I only get 3 points, right? Because it's my 12 to your 9.
Okay. Yes.
And you play to 21.
All right.
Yeah. And then the same thing with doubles, except you have a partner across from you at the other set of boards, and they're on the same side as you, and you would throw back and forth, playing the 21, and you cancel out points.
And how many matches? Like, is it called a match? How many matches are in like a competition? So you go out to your league and you play a what?
Oh well, so in this league, it's the league for 7 weeks is just a set amount of teams. You're guaranteed 7 games a night. Until you reach the playoffs, and it's for seeding. I mean, because
playoffs?
There's playoffs. They take statistics, how many bags you get in the hole, and things like that. This was all new to me as well, but yeah. And then the real surprising part to a lot of people is the amount of different bags. I probably have 30 sets of cornhole bags. And
was it different? What is it?
Yeah, so there's different. There's resin that goes in the bags that helps the bags rotate when it hits the board, bounce differently, slide into the hole a lot easier. There's different suede cloth. Right? So there's different material.
And it's all legal.
It's all legal. So if you play in the American Cornhole League, which is what I cover, most of the time I cover players who play in the American Cornhole League because I sponsor some pro players, they have to get approved, right? And they have a whole machine whenever you get to one of these big tournaments that they're going to test the bags out.
Okay.
Make sure that it's not too flat to where you don't have an advantage of it sliding in. Easier. It has to meet this regulation, right? They have to be between I think it's like 0.8 to 1.2 pounds.
What's the craziest illegal cornhole bag you've ever witnessed?
Oh yeah, that's just one that has crazy resonant and the material to where it just slides in very, very easy, right? Where it touches a piece of the hole and it's just gonna drip in, right? It's probably because the dimensions have it a lot wider than it should be.
So what are the dimensions for, like, is it a square bag? Or
Yep, it's a square bag. It's a square bag. There's certain resin. So this is when I first started playing. So one of my best friends now that I met through Cornhole, it's one of the reasons I'm so grateful that I started this podcast, started playing. A lot of my friends that I met have been through Cornhole, and it's a different demographic that maybe I would have never talked to, right? You have
a podcast?
Yes.
You have a Cornhole podcast?
Yep.
What's it called and where can we find it?
Sure, it's King Seat Podcast.
King Seat Podcast.
King Seat Podcast, which says right here.
Okay, cool, yeah.
Yeah, so and it's mostly there's other podcasts that cover Cornhole, but it's mostly interviewing pro players and finding out like their different routine of practice routines, how they got into Cornhole, because that's always very interesting. What they do on a daily basis, what they do for their mental, how they continue, because some of these tournaments you're there all day, and then you think about one of the longest matches that was played recently. I think it was 52 rounds of walking back and forth, and that match probably took about an hour playing 1-on-1.
Wow.
And that was between Cash Chamness, who's a pro, and this kid is, I think, 10 years old now, and Mark Richards, who's probably around my age, they're mid-30s, who does it professionally, but that's what they do. And how
did you discover this? How did you stumble across a Cornhole League? And then...
Yeah, so like I said, my friend Josh I grew up with, it was like, hey, man, we're playing at Coconut Beach, which is like a sand volleyball place down in Metairie, or kind of, why don't you come out here and play Cornhole? And the way I looked at it, I was like, hey, I typically at the time was going out having drinks, after work 2 or 3 nights a week. So I'm like, I grew up playing sports my whole life, and I like to compete. So I'm like, hey, I'll come check it out. It's something to compete rather than just sit at the bar drinking. I could drink and play this game, right? And he had been into it a little bit longer than me, him and a couple other guys, and they were familiar with the American Cornhole League, so they were traveling for it.
Do they have sponsors and everything?
Yeah, they have sponsors. Like I said, I sponsor some players who play on the pro circuit. And whereas like my logo will be on their jersey, which is on ESPN. Logo? Yeah, my podcast logo will be on their jersey.
They have it on ESPN?
Yep, ESPN, ESPN2. And the prize pool just for this past season, I know, just from the pro circuit, was over $1 million.
Shut up.
So yeah, it's big. It's getting bigger.
You can
but
win
it's
$1
still
million by playing cornhole.
well, the prize pool just playing out. But yeah, I mean, you could win. I mean, I know some of these people that just from bag sponsorships are making six figures, plus the other sponsors.
How long has this been like on ESPN? When did they pick it up?
It's been on ESPN since I'll say before my time, right before I started getting into it. So probably about 6 or 7 years now.
That's crazy.
And then at first, when it got on there, it was because we talk about the World Championships all the time because that's when it's usually broadcasted the most on ESPN. Yeah. But it was like on ESPN the Ocho. Now they have Ocho Day on ESPN, so that's when cornhole would usually be played on it. But now it's kind of like taking a life of its own outside of that because they are trying to make it an Olympic sport. You know, they have partnerships.
What do you think the odds are?
I think the odds are good for a few reasons, right? So they have the American Cornhole League. They have USA Cornhole, which is an affiliation of the American Cornhole League, and now they have the World Cornhole Organization, which is also an affiliation. They just had a tournament, I'm going to say in Czech Republic, where they had, I think, 9 or 10 different countries.
Is this worldwide?
Yeah, so it's getting bigger and bigger, and it's still, like I said, in its infancy. I'm talking to you about it. You had no idea.
No idea.
Right? So, but it's great, and like I said, another one of our best friends, Mike Hennessy, who owns Lucky Bags here in Louisiana, who started a bag company about 5 years ago now. He's got a warehouse. He's printing out bags daily. He has his own website, and that's what he does. I mean, and there was a point probably about 3 years ago. There's so many bag companies now, but when it first got popular, his bags took off because he went to the World Championships one year, was handing out his bags to a couple of the pro players. I knew, hey, they had a good chance to make it on ESPN. Well, these guys, he ended up sponsoring them. They made it on ESPN with his bags. You know, everybody saw that. Oh, we want to throw Lucky Bags, so it took off.
So, my sport is tennis. Okay, and so as a purist, as a tennis fan, and a very enthusiastic recreational tennis player is where I take out my rage. I don't so much invite people to play as I'm like, I want to ruin your day on the tennis court. That's my sport. So as a purist, I do not appreciate pickleballers taking over my courts. Like, is there like a comparable like sport? Like, is cornhole a thing unto itself, or is it like an evolution of a different sport that existed before? Like,
no, cornhole's a thing of itself.
Where did it come from? Do you know the history of the sport?
I don't know the full history.
Who was the first dude that made that rectangle and put holes in it?
I have no idea.
I like to think it happened in the SEC. If the history hasn't been written, we should definitely hijack it.
And it could have been like an evolution of something like washers, right? Are you familiar with that game, which is like the 3 holes?
I'm feeling particularly stupid right. Do you know what bowls is?
No, I think
it's this guy. It's the thing they play in like the gardens in England and stuff, where they throw a white ball down and then you have to like bowl the balls, and it's whoever gets their coloured ball near the white one, you can knock the balls and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think they've had a couple of little bars.
I thought it was something I knew that you didn't.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that thing that is great about cornhole, and you talk about, hey, you're kind of offended by pickleball. You think it's taking over your courts, right?
Yes.
But the thing about cornhole is kind of what I was saying. I mean, it brings a demographic of all different kinds. You have seniors, you have young kids that play it, you have middle-aged people like myself, you know, people from all different likes, and that's what I'm grateful and thankful for. I've met so many people on different ends of the spectrum.
It's got a social element to it.
Yeah, so anybody could play it, right?
Fair enough. Anyone can play cornhole, but what makes a world-class cornhole player?
Oh yeah, so that's
skills you got to have.
Yeah, so like I said, I consider myself a competitive player, far from a pro player. But a pro player is somebody who you have to practice because of the different elements of the boards, the different kinds of bags, the different kinds of shots people take. There's strategy behind it, which a lot of people, hey, you just want to throw it in the hole. No, I could put you on a competitive cornhole match. You watch this match. There's a person that's strategically placing the bag in front of the hole and throwing his next bag to roll over the bag and get in the hole, right? Because he wants to leave that bag there kind of as a defense mechanism.
Okay.
Right? And there's called air mails where you're throwing it over the bags straight into the hole, not touching the board. So you have to practice all different elements. You have to practice different shots at angles because of where they place the board. It's awesome. And there's a guy, Anthony Ione, he's kind of affiliated with the American Cornhole League, but he runs a thing called Cornhole Science. And he talks about the different way these bags play. So whenever I step up to the board, or these pro players step up to the board, in more cases than not, they're familiar about who they're playing with and the kind of person, kind of
profiling them.
Yeah, that they like to play. So So they look into that, and this is how I'm going to play my game. They have about 3 or 4 different sets of bags that they usually bring with them to a tournament, depending on how the boards are playing. Down here, if you're playing outside or inside, it's more humid, right? So the board's going to be a lot stickier than if you're playing in Colorado, right, where it's very dry and things like that, and the board's going to move a lot faster. So you have to have different sets of bags to fit your game and how you want to play. So it's a lot of practice, and I know these guys that play every weekend. There's guys that go live just obviously to get their social profile up, practicing weekly, and they're throwing 2 or 3 hours a night, so it's tough, and it's kind of one of these sports too. I was telling somebody the other day, I'm like, man, I enjoyed this a lot more 4 years ago before the younger generation started getting a hold of it, because it is kind of getting into a younger generation type game, right? Yeah. They don't have. I'm like this when I was their age. I always said I'm playing real sports. And I just say that, right? But I think cornhole could be a sport, its own sport in its own right. But to be a professional player, you definitely have to put in the work.
Are people kind of measured about their enthusiasm for the sport, or like people lose their mind when they miss the shot?
It's different.
It's drama.
It's drama. It just depends who you have. Like, there's an older guy, Matt Guy, who's been playing forever. They called him the GOAT for the longest of cornhole, the greatest of all time. He's very outspoken. He wears his feelings on his face, his expression, right? And then there's some people that are just very driven in, like a guy like Mark Richards, who I think is probably the best cornhole player in the world right now. He's very strategic in what he does. He takes his time with every throw. He wins, but he doesn't show much emotion. He did a little bit in the World Championships, but he doesn't show much emotion. He's always driven into what he's doing. His thing is play your game, play the game, not the name. So
true. My the best tennis players in the world, they look like robots.
And you find out he taught himself how to play cornhole by watching YouTube videos. And he's kind of late to the game. He's only been playing for about 3 years now, but he's taken it over by storm.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So he travels. That's what he does full time. He travels. There's a lot of people that all they do is play cornhole full time because they're able to pick up sponsorships. A lot of times from bag sponsors, their local companies that want to sponsor them in hopes of getting their logo on ESPN, or just supporting them because they see the work they put in and they give them shout outs.
Well, I had no idea what cornholing was. Clearly I've seen it, but I just didn't know what the name of the thing was. I certainly have I had no idea that it was on ESPN as an actual full sport. Man, I wish you the best of luck. Where can I go to? I mean, I guess I can search for cornholing on YouTube.
Yeah.
Is that what I want to do?
You can, but I would go to the one that's on ESPN is going to be the American Cornhole League.
The American Cornhole League. Go check that out. The name of your podcast again?
King's Heat Podcast is on Facebook and YouTube. The reason we started on Facebook a lot is because that's where we knew we'd get a lot of views to begin with, right? Sure. Because of the cornhole thing. And it was never my intent to just talk about cornhole, but I knew it was a way to get it kickstarted, right?
It's a passion you have, right?
Yeah, I love cornhole. I mean, I have a little series like on TikTok, started talking about mentality and things like that, because cornhole you can only talk about so much, but I love talking about sports in general. So
once you get into the personalities that play the sport, it's an endless
great
pool, man. It's an endless pool.
Yeah, but the American Cornhole League is where you go, and they're doing big things. The pro season is starting to get underway. The first tournament's coming up at the end of this month in Myrtle Beach. So they'll be playing on Myrtle Beach. It'll be on ESPN, and they have a teams factor they put into it this year. Well, it's been along for a couple of years, and now they're franchising out teams. So they have people buying into teams, paying for players.
That's crazy.
It's taking its own right. Yeah, there's 16 teams, so it's like I said, it's just in the infancy, and I'm thankful that the American Cornhole League lets me, talk about it, be on their professional jerseys, and sponsor these players, and it's only getting bigger. So
one of the things I love about Louisiana is people down here are so awesome, and I could feel I could feel your passion when I met you at that networking event, and I'm so glad you made time to come and share some with me, man. You've mind blown.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Yeah. Thanks for having me.